Hey there, I'm Tony DeCoppel. Welcome to the Uplift. We got a great show for you, a great cast of characters as well. Among them, these: a mom who worked tirelessly to make her dreams come true shares a proud moment 30 years in the making. Also, a bride who stopped at nothing to plan her dream wedding. On top of her wish list, walk down the aisle with her dad. Also, an outlaw otter gaining attention in Southern California. How did this little fella earn a mugshot? Uh-oh, you'll find out. Plus, two strangers who met in a grocery store parking lot and how that chance encounter ended up being life-changing for both of them. All that and more, you're watching The Uplift. Hello again and welcome to The Uplift, the show that lifts you up for at least the next 30 minutes, you and me as well. And we're going to begin at a facility for animals to heal from trauma. And once they overcome their own struggles, well, they go on to help others. Here's Lisa Ling.
Deep in the mountains, about 40 miles north of Los Angeles, is a place of profound healing.
Hi.
Where did these guys come from?
They were like abandoned in a desert. Can I have a kiss?
Gentle Barn founder Ellie Lack says animals saved her from a dark place of depression.
You're a good mom, you sweetheart.
She's dedicated her life to returning the favor and calls herself an animal communicator.
You got 3 pieces, my baby. I have to share with your family.
Can you describe the state of mind of the animals that end up here at the Gentle Barn?
The majority of the animals that end up at the Gentle Barn are terrified, fearing for their lives, thinking that every day is going to be their last. They've never seen human kindness before.
Music and sound therapists bring a calming, healing energy. Lack says it helps animals learn to relax.
These days, many are getting acupuncture to heal all kinds of pain and trauma, including those you might not expect.
Acupuncture is helping this turkey live better and longer.
We've had animals with torn ACLs, bad hips, severe arthritis, and we give them acupuncture, and every single week they blossom, they heal. We can see it in front of our eyes.
Along with standard veterinary care, the animals also receive holding and massage therapy. Each animal has a story of survival and resilience. These turkeys were supposed to end up on a dinner plate.
And now they're as happy as can be, and they cuddle people, and they're very curious.
I can't say I'd ever heard about turkeys being affectionate animals, but I was wrong.
I have never cuddled a turkey. Look at this turkey, he's closing her eyes.
Visitors of all ages are welcome. Some come seeking comfort from the emotional scars of abuse, anxiety, and depression. Learning animals can heal helps inspire people to push on.
You are my sunshine.
Meet John Lewis Thunderbolt, born in a slaughterhouse.
You make me happy. He was very, very sick with pneumonia and a very high fever.
Believing the cow had a better chance of survival inside her home, her family created a comfy space in her living room for both of them.
And I was with him 24/7 for 9 months. But
You're sleeping with a cow in your house for 9 months.
Yes, I moved downstairs to the living room.
You like the broccoli?
Ate with him, slept with him. I literally became his mom.
The power we have as humans is boundless too.
I was literally trying to figure out how to retrofit my house to accommodate a cow for his whole life. But he chose to live with the cows.
I imagine you are a bit relieved because John Lewis is a giant cow.
I think my husband and kids were relieved. I was very sad.
Her love and patience know no bounds. Some animals take years to recover.
Wow, Ellie, these cows are enormous. It's like an elephant.
That's genetic engineering right there.
As part of the food chain, Lax explains these gentle giants were genetically modified to grow very big, very fast, and are killed when they're young. But here, after they're rescued and rehabilitated, something extraordinary happens.
You just put your face on him, close your eyes.
The animals help humans struggling with pain and heartache. She calls it cow hug therapy, and in more than 20 years, it's been 100% safe for participants.
And I think that when we put our faces against the cows, it mimics being an infant with a caregiver. We feel vulnerable and small. We feel protected and loved. It's magical. There you go.
Haley Bonus is hoping cow hugs can help her navigate unimaginable grief. Last year, her 4.5-month-old son, Wyatt, went down for a nap and never woke up.
Every parent's worst nightmare happened to us. We got to say goodbye to him and just kiss him, stroke his head, and tell him how much we loved him.
Haley has found some relief in traditional therapy. Now with a baby girl on the way, she's open to feeling the warmth of cow hugs.
Sometimes words don't really cut it, so something like this experience goes a long way. So powerful.
Where would you say you are on your healing journey?
Every day is different. It's been a huge mix of emotions. I love being a parent.
Wyatt was just a baby, but did he have an affinity toward any animals?
We have the cutest picture of my parents holding him in front of the cows, and he looks a little concerned because they're so big and he's so small, but he has the biggest smile on his face.
That was beautiful. I felt like I was being held by my mother.
There's plenty of research indicating hugs lower blood pressure and can soften feelings of anger and loneliness.
I feel lighter. I do think that some healing happened without me even really consciously considering it. Especially animals who have been through such trauma themselves, to then give so much of their soul and their calming energy, it's really beautiful.
These animals are now helping humans to heal. Lax says she's witnessed countless lives changed, but understands some people are still skeptical.
People might say, cow hug therapy, that's ridiculous. Cows are for eating, they're dumb animals. What do you mean hugging them is gonna heal you? That's crazy. Come to the Gentle Barn and see for yourself. When you feel that connection, it does something.
For me, the moment was actually hugging the giant GMO turkey and how it just fell asleep in my arms. I'm also so happy to report that Haley just gave birth to a beautiful baby girl last week. And Gentle Barn founder Ellie Lack's new book, Cow Hug Therapy, is available now. And you may have heard that bird flu has been detected in some dairy farms in 9 states, but it has not been found in California, and the Gentle Barn cows are very healthy. The Department of Agriculture and the FDA are continuing to monitor the situation. For CBS News, I'm Lisa Ling.
Thank you, Lisa. Coming up next, why is an otter on a most wanted list? How this animal became an infamous criminal in Southern California. Plus, the inspiring story of a mom who did not stop working for her degree. Despite several challenges, several setbacks, she kept going. You don't go anywhere. You're watching The Uplift. We introduce you now to one of America's most wanted otters. Yeah, this feisty creature has become talk of town and country and got a mugshot as well. How? Carter Evans has the story.
These are the latest mugshots of Otter 841, America's most wanted marine mammal. Last summer, she terrorized surfers in Santa Cruz, California, biting boards, even hijacking them. Now she's back, and surfers are on the lookout.
Are people excited to see this otter?
I think they're excited to see it first, and then they kind of get scared.
In an effort to do a deep dive, we hit the water.
She's been sighted at surf spots like this, but so far, no outlaw otters.
When I saw her, she was just feeding, real close to the cliffs.
Photographer Mark Woodward snapped the latest pictures of 841, the number on her tag, over the Memorial Day weekend.
And she was being very respectful of the surfers.
He also captured the images of otter mania that went viral last year when crowds tried to get too close.
So with paddleboarders and kayakers going right through the middle of kelp beds where sea otters sleep, it's dangerous. It's also illegal.
Concerned someone could get hurt, the Department of Fish and Wildlife set up a dragnet operation. It failed every time. Eventually, the ornery otter disappeared, but in October made a surprising return with her pup. Experts now think pregnancy may explain her aggressive behavior.
What would you like to see happen here?
I hope she could be left alone. She lives her best life. Hopefully, she will refrain from getting on the boards, but who knows?
We may just find out the next time the otter pops back up. Carter Evans, CBS News, Santa Cruz.
Thank you, Carter. All right, graduation season is upon us, and while all new grads have worked hard to earn their degrees, there's one student in particular in Boston extra proud of her diploma because it was 30 years in the making. Here's Julie McDonald with her story.
It means so much, you know, because it took me a long time to get here.
Shelly Smith.
This moment has been a dream deferred for nearly 30 years. It was 1994 when Shelly Smith of Roxbury took her first class at Mass Bay. Then she had her daughter. 2 marriages fell apart. She worked nights and struggled from dyslexia. There was always something to take care of, getting in the way of her calling to take care of others.
And I have the gift of caring. It's not about the money, but you also have to have it's about passion for it. And that's part of nursing, knowing that it's not about you, it's about the patients. So I have that gift and I want to share that gift.
Shelly says this diploma is something no one else can take from her, but they also can't take away the kind of mother that she's been. Thanks to her sacrifice, daughter Shelby is studying biomedical engineering at Wentworth.
I broke the cycle. I researched her schools. I went to PTAs. I made sure I showed up because she was not going to have a struggle like me in school. I'm changing my story and I'm changing her story.
And as Shelly keeps on climbing, she hopes her hard work inspires others to never give up on their own story.
Just start somewhere. Take one class and just come and do what makes you happy. It's about you, you know, and this is about me and my dream. And I'm going to get there slowly but surely, but I will get there.
At Mass Bay Community College in Wellesley, Julie McDonald, WBZ News.
Congratulations to her. Coming up, you're going to meet a bride who went to great lengths planning her wedding to ensure that her dad could be there with her as she walked down the aisle. Plus, how a chance encounter between a 90-year-old veteran and a younger woman in a parking lot ended up being life-changing for both of them. A bride in California had one wish as she planned her wedding, and that wish was to make sure her dad, who was battling cancer, could walk down the aisle with her. So she went to great lengths to make sure that he did. Michelle G. Lee from CBS Los Angeles has the story.
I'm gonna try not to cry, that's for sure. But I'm just glad that he's gonna be able to live this moment, be able to walk me down. Because I know that's what he wants. He just wants me to be happy.
There were plenty of tears inside of the chapel at St. Joseph Hospital in Orange as the father of the bride, Abraham Arceo, was wheeled down the aisle next to his daughter, Brittany.
Very emotional. It's just been very hard lately, but we're just glad they were able to do this for us. It meant a lot to Brittany, to me. Just wanted to make sure he was able to see her get married.
Please hold hands at this time.
For more than a year, Tustin's Abraham Arceo has been battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. His daughter's original wedding date is still weeks away, so Brittany Arceo talked to a nurse about making something happen sooner.
They were getting married at the end of June, and that the father's cancer was progressing very quickly, and he really wanted to walk his daughter down the aisle, and that was really important to Brittany. And so we decided that we could figure out a way to make it happen. So our facilities team even measured the door just in case we weren't able to use a wheelchair and we needed to use the hospital bed, that we could actually fit the hospital bed through the door as well.
The wheelchair was able to be used, and with a nurse pushing the IV stand with Arceo's medication and fluids, he made it to the altar.
He's honestly my hero, and I've always looked up to him ever since I was a little girl. So even with this new battle, he just means so much to me.
Be husband and wife.
As the ceremony ended, a crowd of family members, nurses, doctors, and St. Joseph Hospital staff cheered and clapped for the newlyweds and for the bride's father, whose wish came true. In Orange, Michelle Geely, KCAL News.
Coming up, when a woman saw a man working outside a grocery store collecting cards, something told her she had to talk to him, and that simple conversation ended up changing lives. Why? You can find out after the break. We've got a story now about a simple conversation between strangers in a grocery store parking lot, and it led to a life-changing connection. Here's David Begnaud.
It was Memorial Day, and Karen Swenson was arriving at a Louisiana grocery store to shop when an elderly man caught her attention.
What were you thinking before you ever rolled down the window?
I was thinking, how can this be? How can somebody who's clearly lived a long time and worked so hard be out here in this heat, pushing carts?
She did what many of us might do. She left. Her groceries were getting warm. After all, New Orleans nearly broke a record that day. Forecasters say it felt like it was 111 degrees. And because of that, she went back.
So I thought, this isn't right. And kind of prayed. I said, okay, if I'm supposed to do something, let me find him in the next 10 minutes. And with 2 minutes on the clock, I see him pushing the carts. I accosted him in the parking lot.
She stopped me and I just stopped and talked.
I remember I said, it's Memorial Day and you're out here working. And I said, may I ask why? And you had 2 words. You said, to eat.
To eat. Everybody has to eat.
So she took out her phone and started recording.
May I please get your name?
Dylan McCormick.
Mr. McCormick told Karen that he is a 90-year-old United States Air Force veteran living off of $1,100 in Social Security per month. Not married and with no kids. His bills are $2,500 a month. So he works to make up the difference.
You've been working doing the baskets for 23 years.
Never been inside, always been out there.
I knew when he said that he was a veteran, and I knew it was 90 degrees outside on my car thermometer, and he was 90 years old, that people would respond if we could just share a story.
So Swenson did what surprised no one who knows her. She went home, started a fundraiser for Mr. McCormick, and then turned to social media for help.
So, Mr. Dillon, she posts this online. She starts a GoFundMe page for you, and it raises $200,000 in less than 24 hours.
Yes, $222,000 in 24 hours.
Amazing.
But these are strangers from all over the country who heard your story and just wanted to help.
And that I appreciate, and I wish I could thank each individual to the person.
Swenson wanted to get the money into Mr. McCormick's bank account right away, but she sensed he might need a little proof before handing over his bank account number.
Do you remember when I first called you and you hung up on me?
How did that go down?
I don't think you believed it.
I only accept calls from people I recognize.
What do you remember saying?
I said, I'm the woman from the parking lot. And I said, you're not going to believe this. We've raised a lot of money. I said, you might need help managing this. He goes, I tell you what, I'll call you. And he hung up.
Mr. McCormick didn't know who Karen Swenson is, a beloved figure in New Orleans.
Good evening, I'm Dennis Woltram.
And I'm Karen Swenson.
For 2 decades, Karen Swenson was one of the main news anchors at WWL-TV, the legacy CBS affiliate in New Orleans.
It is not goodbye. I am not leaving New Orleans. I'm just pivoting.
Karen retired 2 years ago to chart a new path, helping to be a change agent in people's lives. And that brings us right back to this. She enlisted the help of the elected sheriff of Jefferson Parish, Joseph Lopinto.
They've raised over $220,000 for you.
So that's why I wanted you to see the sheriff, so that you would believe. If you didn't believe me, you could believe the sheriff.
With the sheriff's help, Swenson got Mr. McCormick to understand that the incredible and immediate outpouring of generosity was real.
I think we all play a small role in people's lives. It just depends on when we touch them.
Mr. Dillon, you've lived a long life and you've met many different people. What do you think of a human being like this who did what she did for you?
Very high-class young lady. Very high class. There are very few people like her left in this crazy world of ours. But as long as she's alive, people are in good shape.
I think I'm getting way too much credit for this. I believe that the takeaway is the community response. So often we think of ourselves as divided, right? Us and them. No, this was we and our. We take care of our own, not only in Louisiana, but this entire nation banded together. And I looked at who was donating, it's the left, it's the right, it's everything in between. We united for the right reason.
You are going to save this money, I assume, to help yourself, right?
I'm planning to give 1/4 of it away to the Catholic Church that sits down the block by the lake.
Well, I hope they enjoy some of it, but do you plan to retire now?
No, my belief is if you stop working, you all stop living. The good die young, so it looks like I'm going to be here a long time.
Don't stop, can't stop, won't stop. That is our show. I hope it brightened your day. I hope it lifted you up. If for some reason it didn't, go ahead and press play again. Those reruns are free. I'm going to go find some good news. See you next time.